Oh, okay. So, ma'am, if you would like to, give a brief intro of yourself.
I'm Richa Prakash Choudhary. I'm 2014 batch IAS officer and presently posted as Collector Gorilla Pendramarbai.
Okay, great. So, ma'am, if you would like to, give in detail about this initiative you have started for these visually impaired children in Chhattisgarh.
So back in July, we had a workshop with all the 2,600 teachers of the district with some national level resource persons about all the 21 disabilities. They spoke about the cognitive disabilities, the physical disabilities, and all the aspects, basic awareness orientation workshop. And out of that workshop, this one particular thing came out that regarding visual disability, we can start immediate intervention. So the cognitive disability and everything, they require time for diagnosis and you need experts, and the child and the teacher also need special care. But for visual disability, the state through SSA also has a lot of provisions for scholarship entitlements, and even health department is also there to support the kids in terms of diagnosis or corrective surgeries or even the visual aids, whatever. So we thought that the rest of the work will keep continuing, but we should start this process immediately. So they, Ek Kadam Aur Foundation, they have been working with the visually disabled children in UP, I think. And they propose that for a pilot basis, we should start with 10, 15 kids and let's see how it goes. So eight students were identified. They're 100% blind, and we selected one volunteer from the village itself. We gave them a panel. They were interviewed by the Ekadamor Foundation, and they were trained. So the focus of the program is that it's not the child alone who needs hand holding, the family, the community, as well as the school, because it's a sort of a stigma and the child feels out of school and even family atmosphere. So the role of the volunteer was first to interact with the family, uh, uh, talk to the child and tutor the child for 3 4 months at home, so that the child is confident enough so that to go to school, and parents are confident enough कि अब बच्चा हमारा स्कूल में जा सकता है, उसको रास्ते में या स्कूल में कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, because a lot of time kids drop out because family worries कि साथ में कौन ध्यान रखेगा, रास्ते में कुछ हो गया, क्लास में कुछ हो गया. So that was the role of the volunteer, and I think it's been 3 4 months. We are funding the volunteers को जो honorarium है, we are giving it through DMF, and in total we have around 120 kids who are at various levels of visual disability. So these eight kids are 100% visually disabled. The rest of them, we are doing assessment, and some have been given the braille training in their families, and they are being given braille training. Braille books are being provided, and some of them will be fine after some corrective surgery. So that also we are taking up with the health department. That was the main thing.
Okay, great. So, like, can I say, was this your brainchild, like, to start this?
An idea is never a one person's brainchild, right? Things emerge when you talk to people. Somebody has some kind of exposure over what is happening in this field. So the first workshop that we had was eye opening for all of us in terms of the scale of the percentage of population that suffers from one or the other kind of disability. It's very hidden. We are normally aware about the physical disability, चाहे visual हो चाहे orthopedic हो, but cognitive disability के बारे में हम लोगों को अभी भी काफी चीजें पता नहीं है. So I think that was eye opening, and this when the Ekadamor Foundation talked to us about it and they explained how their UP project is going on, it felt like this is something that we can start immediately. So that's how it came up.
So, like, when was this initiative started?
So we had the orientation in July, and by mid-August, our volunteers were selected and they had started going to these children's school. And now the kids are going children's homes, and now the kids are going to school in the full, like a normal child. The teachers, the school, and even their children, the other classmates have also been sensitized. So on 3rd of December, We had a special program in all these 8 schools where there were special games, awareness games, and role play, so that you understand if you are visually blind how the other person is doing. So we had those. So that helps in making the child feel like he's part of the school community, or he should not feel left out. So almost 3-4 months now it's been going on.
Great. So, like, was there any case study or some incident that really encouraged you to start this program?
Yeah, so we have a PVTG population, Baga population we have, and in one of the villages, Saleghori, whenever we had a chopal, and this girl Kranti Bega, she came out. Her family, again, because all the sometimes it's very difficult for family to also they also need hand holding and sensitization. So when we went there, we were having a chopal, and we realized that this child is really smart, but she is dropped out of school because. Uh, there is no support at school, and her family is also not they are not willing to risk ki school kaun lekar ke jayega. So after that, I think I sent the health department to do a complete health checkup of all the Bega kids in that habitation. And that was somewhere back in the mind when we were talking about, when we had the workshop in July, that was somewhere in the mind that kids like that who are smart, they have potential, and still because of some gap in our educational services, they are being that might have been one of the triggers.
So, how is she doing right now?
She's great. I just saw a video a couple of days ago. She's speaking English. She's very confident. We have a Chhattisgarh ka, there is a state ka song, Arpa Peri Ki Dhar. A couple of months ago, she sang it very beautifully. So it's very nice to see her. People from PVTG community, it's very rare for them to be assertive and be extrovert. But she's there and very confident, and I'm very sure, I'm looking forward to it, that she gets her full education and she gets to do higher education, and like all of us, go to college, get a good job. She gets to do that. We are uh, fully committed to get her there.
That's beautiful. So, how does all this, these case studies make you feel?
You are able to make a difference. So probably that's the one of the charms of the service, despite everything else you hear, is these little things that you are able to do and bring about a difference. And through those small examples, you can uh, you can see awareness clicking in your faculty, in your teachers, in the community. People are talking about her. So I think that's one of the what you call the perks of being a civil servant.
So, how do you ensure the implementation of this scheme? I mean, how do you, how do people benefit from this? How do you select volunteers and etc.?
So we know where the kids are situated, the names of the villages. And during COVID times, we had a volunteer-based program, which is still going on, Seek program. So we know some 2-3 boys and girls in the village who are 10वीं 12वीं पढ़े हुए हैं, who are committed to volunteering in these kind of initiatives. So the Ekadamor Foundation team interviewed them initially. Then they had a couple of sessions with them to orient them what they are supposed to do, what are the expectations from them. Then a weekly, they are reviewed weekly. A weekly program is given. So when the at-home instructions were being given, they were supposed to sit with the family. They were supposed to sit with the child. आपने घर पे बैठ के आपने क्या करना है? इस हफ्ते आपने सिर्फ by touch you start recognizing things. This is that, and you start going out. Then after a couple of weeks, you are given braille ka training. This is A, this is B, this is C. Similarly, school के level पे teachers are being sensitized कि बच्चे को सबसे पीछे नहीं बिठाना है. Braille books are being provided by state. It's mandated by law. So वो बच्चे को सामने रखिए. When you are teaching, just tell the kid to touch the book and feel, so that the kid is not feeling कि class में क्या हो रहा है, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. So the kids, there was a weekly program, at home intervention, at school intervention, intervention with the kids, with the parents, and there was a weekly review. So Ekadamor Foundation team, their coordinator Soumya, she would have and Pallavi also, I think they would have a talk with the volunteers, how they are doing, how if they are facing any challenges, and then we would have a education department, and I would review it once a month. So if there is any problem, if some volunteer is not doing well, or we need a new person. So right now it's more or less stabilized.
So like these volunteers are from village level only, or
The village where the child is from. So we have the volunteer who's taking care of Kranti is a woman volunteer from the same village. They are slightly educated, so 10th and 12th, or some of them have been to college also. But they are in the village. They stay nearby the home where the child lives. Yeah.
okay, great. So can you tell me what is the age group of these visually impaired children that you have identified?
So for this particular intervention, we thought we should focus on primary level kids only, because that is the time when most of the kids leave the school system. So if we ensure by through the support that they continue with the system, later on as they grow up, they also become aware of what facilities the government is giving, and they won't need that much of support. The next part of the initiative is going to be about those not students anymore, but the youth who have left, who could not complete their education because they could not cope up because of their visual disability, and we are planning to give them some vocational training so that they become independent, and they don't feel like they are a burden to family and the society. They become productive members of the society. Yeah.
That's great. So how many villages like these children are from how many villages like you have
So
targeted in the
I
district?
have 3 blocks, and I think they are 8 children are from 8 different villages. So in one, 4 are from Gorilla, and then 2 are from Pendra, and then the rest are from Malpahi.
Okay.
So all the 3 blocks are being covered.
Okay. So what do you think, like, what was the necessity that you had to start this? I mean, aren't there government initiatives on these things already? And why do you think kids have
So
to drop out?
right. So the provision in the existing Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, there are provisions. So the kids are the Braille books state is supposed to provide them. The during when you're writing the exam, you are supposed to have a special person who can write for you. You can just dictate to them. So all these entitlements are already there. But the main problem is not just we don't focusing on the child alone does not help. The child is living in an environment. वो घर पे रह रहा है, वो स्कूल में रह रहा है, वो कम्युनिटी में रह रहा है, और शुरू से ही द वे आर सोसाइटी इज, वो शुरू से ही वो बच्ची जो है वो सुनती आ रही कि तो अंधी है, कुछ नहीं कर सकती है. सो द फैमिली ऑल्सो फील समहाउ दे also start feeling that this child will always be a burden, they will not be able to take care of themselves, वो हमेशा हमको या उसके बड़े भाई बहनों को उनका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. सो द फोकस ऑफ दिस प्रोग्राम इज कि एक्सक्लूसिवली बच्चे पे हमको फोकस नहीं करना है. बच्चे के साथ साथ उसकी फैमिली को और उसकी कम्युनिटी को, प्लस उसके स्कूल में उसके जो पियर ग्रुप हैं, जैसे क्लास में देर इज अ ब्लाइंड बच्चा, तो इट शुड नॉट मेक एनी वेव्स, इट्स जस्ट लाइक एनी अदर चाइल्ड. आप चश्मा भी तो लगाते हो, दैट इज ऑल्सो सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ विजुअल डिसेबिलिटी, लेकिन उसको हम आजकल अलग से जज नहीं करते हैं. सो द इवन इफ यू आर 100% ब्लाइंड, यू आर स्टिल अ पार्ट ऑफ द सेम नॉर्मल क्लास. सो उसको एक नॉर्मलाइज करने के लिए आपको फैमिली के लिए भी, इसीलिए लॉट ऑफ आवर एफर्ट वाज फोकस्ड ऑन स्पीकिंग टू द पेरेंट्स एंड देयर मोहल्ले वाला, कि ये बच्चा अगर बाहर निकल रहा है तो उसको डोंट मेक हिम अफ्रेड और हर अफ्रेड टू गो आउट, कि बाहर जाओगे गिर पड़ जाओगे, पता नहीं कौन जानवर आ गया सड़क पे आ गए. डोंट मेक द चाइल्ड अफ्रेड. सिमिलरली क्लासरूम में द चाइल्ड शुड नॉट फील लेफ्ट आउट, कि सब बच्चे अलग खेल रहे हैं, टिफिन शेयर नहीं करें, वट एवर द क्लास की डायनामिक्स इज. सो द आइडिया वॉज टू, academic entitlements बच्चे को already हैं, they have been there for years, but unless we include the community, the family, the child doesn't really come out unless the parents are really aware. And in especially in rural areas like ours, it's very difficult, and it's very difficult for parents to be that aware, and it's also incumbent on us कि हम सारा burden parents पे ना डालें, कि आप अगर जागरूक है तो आपका बच्चा आगे पढ़ लेगा. We should also reach out. So that was the main purpose.
Right, right. So, one thing more, like these kids are studying in regular schools, so and they need specific books to, study. The study material is different for them. So, how do you ensure that the other classmates and they, they get comfortable in the same environment. Their learning speed is different.
So the
It must be.
content is the same, right? Content is just the SCRT books. Those books are just converted into Braille. So we have a Braille press in Bilaspur. So those the same NCRT textbook that you study Hindi, English, whatever maths you have, the same textbook is converted into Braille. So the child is not being taught something different. He's just uh, being taught how to receive it. So you can't see what is written on the board. You can't read what is written in a normal textbook. But if you are reading it on a Braille, वो आज गांव में बाजार लगेगा, so you read it visually, the child is reading it through touch, so the content is just the same. Also the state is providing audio visual aids. So for example, we keep audio books and everything, we keep listening to songs. So those are also being provided by state now. I think they will be giving it in the next couple of months, so every child will be given audio lessons, so you can listen whatever is being spoken, if there is a lesson in science or language or something. So again, whatever they are being taught is not different, it's just the same thing, they just need a different method to learn it. So that's there.
Great. So, do you think other districts are also, continuing with this initiative, or somebody else?
um, we have heard queries from a few districts, and as I said, it's not a very complicated initiative. It's just a volunteer who needs a couple of months of hand holding, and the family needs a few support. So I think it will be very easy to scale up, and the DMC, the APC Samagra Shiksha Inclusive Education, who is looking after this, has proposed it to state. So we have sent data details to the state, so let's see if we can implement it statewide with the support of the state. It's very easy to replicate. It's the easiest thing one could do.
That's great. So, ma'am, like, can you connect me with some kid or the parents of children who have, benefited from this initiative? Their lives have a
Uh,
bit, transformed, or maybe a few volunteers or person from Ek Kadam, so get their
I will.
comments also.
So Ekadam Foundation people are not based in the district. They connect through वही Zoom
उनको
calls पे ही वो करते हैं. I will connect सौम्या से, and volunteers से भी जो local में हमारे BRP होते हैं समग्र शिक्षा, प्रवीण he will coordinate. So आपको बच्चे से बात करनी है, उनके पेरेंट्स से बात करनी है, टीचर से बात करनी है, और volunteers से जिनसे भी बात करनी है वो coordinate करा देंगे. I will give you his number and he'll give you a call.
Okay, that's great. So, do you like have a picture of yourself with these kids?
No, again,
Acha.
I avoid making it, photo app,
Okay, fine.
of things. So
I
yeah,
understand. So that's great.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Shivani. I'll be sending you the numbers, and
Okay.
just feel free to drop me a message if you need
Yes,
anything
yes.
else.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Bye, bye.
you.